honest because I wanted people to trust.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. Why that's repeating, I have no clue why that's repeating, but you know we always have issues when we get the show started here. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And for some reason, I don't know if you guys are hearing that or not, but I have somebody... I hear somebody repeating myself, and I believe it's because I'm watching myself on YouTube. There it is. You turn YouTube off, you can hear yourself. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hey, guys, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. We got the creator and my sidekick, Dylan, in the green room. We've got Jacob from Wagermethis in the green room, and John from ProCraps has come in and joined us. And the last time I looked over in the Zoom green room, we had Ed from Roll to Win. So I was going to announce something here when I bring them on, but I'm going to wait for Ed to come on when we do that. Hey guys, if you want to get into the show, it's very simple. All you have to do is just very simply do this right here. Join the show. Let's see. There we go. You join the show by going to the description below. By the way, we're dual streaming tonight. The main channel is on the Casino Gaming Network. If you're over on the midatlanticcraps network, I will see your chats. We've got both chats. We'll be putting them up here in just a little bit. To Vince Armeni's question, do we need guests? Yes, we do. Come on. We'll take all the guests that we could get to get on the show. Go in the description below. If you can't hit that click, go to crapschat.com and you can get into the show. So I'm really excited tonight to have my guests here tonight. And without further ado, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to bring all of them on. Hopefully all the technology works, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's see what happens. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hopefully the audio is working on everybody. All right. Dylan, how are you?
Doing great. Doing good.
All right. Well, guys, as you can see, yep. Let me go ahead and Dylan is. Let's see. He's that way. I got to look the back way. He's that way to my top left. Jacob is down below, and we have John from ProCraps, and we'll be adding the screen for the guys in the Zoom room in just a second because I have to go out there and fix it. In the meantime, Dylan, how you doing? And welcome our guest.
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Modern medicine is great. I'm feeling good. And I can't wait for this episode, to kick off episode 9. Episode 9. Can you believe that? That's so awesome. And it's just a snowball rolling down that great mountain, and we're having so much fun. But I'm so happy and so thrilled to have Jacob, wager me this year, and of course John is our, beloved godfather.
Beloved godfather. I like that, the beloved godfather.
Yeah, so you can't get any better than that, and we're going to have a bunch of guests come in. Everybody's super fantastic and super excited for the show, and I just can't wait to get to talk about some specialty things about some craps. So, John, if you want, I'll punt the ball to you. Take it away.
I just want to say hi. Thanks for having me again over this week, and I'm stoked to talk to Jacob and Ed. This is going to be just a fun night for me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan, so it's just an honor to be here. Yeah,
I think that we are all huge fans of Jacob's, and we just brought in the first Zoom window, which I'm still fooling with. But Jacob, I'm going to say hello to you. Did I lose my audio?
No, I'm here. I'm just listening to everybody talk.
Yep. So, Jacob, welcome to the show. Ed, we're going to get to you in just one second because I want to talk about Pass the Rack, but we did invite Jacob on the show. If you just give us a few minutes. Ed, nod your head or say something so I make sure the audio is working. Is the audio working?
Can you hear us, Ed?
All right, Ed.
That was...
Yep. How about now, Ed?
Can you hear us, Ed?
Yep.
Ed's head is not nodding.
It's good. I'm still getting a lot of double feed coming through.
There we go.
Okay, I'll work on that double feed in just 1 second, so just give me a second to work on that, and I'll take care of that in a second. Let's go ahead and welcome. Here we go. Sorry about it, guys.
That was interesting. So, true story. This is like 100% not true, but it's true. Is that John is the brother of the lead singer of Disturbed.
David and I go way back. Have you ever seen the video of the guy doing Down with the Sickness at the karaoke bar? You got to Google that. Dude, I'm not doing that. There's no way. But there's a dude that does. No way, man. Maybe a couple more of these at the end of the show, and I'll yeah. No, there's a guy that does it like he's trying to read it off the screen. God, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's worth the price of admission for free. Do a Google search.
If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Disturbed is like a metal band, and John has similarities to the lead singer.
If I just had the what do you call it, the lip earrings.
Yeah, you probably do.
That's what I'm missing. I don't wear them.
But anyway,
embarrasses my daughter to put the earrings in. Totally.
Oh, hey, what's going on here?
Well,
is that Kevin?
Glad to have Ed. We're so glad to have Ed with us, and
yeah.
Let's see who else. Someone else has joined us.
Looks like Kevin
as well. Kevin, yeah, that's our Hawaiian gentleman friend.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cool. And I think is that Vince in the bottom?
Oh, might be.
You are famous.
So, John.
Aloha.
Technology's great.
I am not hearing our host.
Oh,
I don't think Jeff's talking. No, okay.
So,
you got
how about now, guys? You hear me now?
There he is. Yep,
yeah.
there he is.
Yeah.
Buttons, guys. We got buttons. You should see this setup here. So what we have there is we have the Atlantic City crew coming on. We have Kevin on the top, and we have Ed from Roll to Win over there. And the Atlantic City crew. It looks like there is Ted Berry from Midnight Train. I can't see who's on the other side of him. That's Clay from East Coast. Ted, who else do you have there? Because I got to get to Jacob, but I'll go ahead and introduce you guys.
Is that Evelyn?
It very well might be, because she was going to be in Atlantic City with those guys.
Oh,
Ted, you got to
cool.
turn on your
Good.
audio. Ted, turn on your audio. All right. While they're working with their audio, have you got your audio on yet, Ted?
We're working on it. I hear you
Okay.
barely. It's very loud here.
Okay. Well, we can hear you. Jacob wants to know who's the person in the middle. Is that Evelyn?
Yes, that is Evelyn. That's Yo Girl.
Yep. Yo, girl.
Go girl.
And there's
Hello.
Clay.
That's the East Coast.
Okay. So real quick before I get to Jacob, because it's his time here in the beginning of the show, how are you guys doing in Atlantic City? Up or down? Just a real quick up or down.
Tables are sucking big time.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Well,
I have seen. I was just on a table and just witnessed like 4 or 5 PSOs right off the bat.
they'll come back, guys. They'll come back. I did that myself. Sorry about that.
Time to go to the
No,
dark
I'll
side.
get them. You can keep talking. So what I'm going to do while I fix the Zoom issue, which I seem to always have problems with Zoom, I will tell you guys. Let's go ahead, and I asked Jacob about a week or so ago to come on the show with us and join us for an evening, so that he could take the time not only to come on Craps Chat, because we haven't had him before, but also to be able to come on and talk about a special promotion that you have going on. Jacob, the floor is yours. Tell us what you have going on.
Okay, if anybody doesn't know, I'm Wagermethis. Most people in this world know.
Just my phone.
But
It's another
my
phone.
friends, I have some good friends of
What
mine,
is this thing called?
and they're professional axe throwers, I guess you'd call them. They are ranked #1 in the world as dual team, and it's obviously expensive to travel around on a circuit like that. And so they asked me if I could maybe help them raise some money, and so that's what I did. I started getting together prizes and stuff, because I don't like to just ask people for money. I like to give something away. And then so I gathered up a bunch of my collection, plus bought some stuff for it, and got some stuff from them. And now we have this competition. It's not a competition, it's a contest. And you can go on my website, wagermethis.com, buy some entry tickets to it. One ticket gets you into every drawing. I'm not going to split it up or anything, but I have a bunch of cool stuff already, plus some of their merchandise, because they own an axe throwing business. But believe it or not, it doesn't make all that much money. But it gives them time to practice, so they have their own place. And that's why they're so good. And it's a father-son team. They're actually the father's the godfather of my kids, so that's how close we are. And they asked me to help them out, so I'm helping them out. And the cool thing about it on my end is they're already invited to the World Championships because they won some tournaments and stuff. And so now they're going to get a put my name, wagermethis.com, plastered across the back of their jerseys on ESPN2. And that's the big part for me. And also in a lot of ways, it's a big part for all the craps community. And if you don't believe me, go look at my website. Anybody that has a channel that wants to be on my website, I'll put your stuff on there. You know, I love the craps community. So you guys have been really great to me, and I always try to do anything I can to give back. So if you want to be on my website, send me an email to wagermethis@gmail with like what kind of blurb and a picture, and I'll put you on there, because I don't know, there's like 10, 15 on there now, something like that, and I would love to have all of them on there. But anyway, so back to the contest thing. So basically, I don't know, I have like 10 prizes right now, plus I have some of their merchandise. Like, they have some really cool merchandise. Now, it's kind of Kansas City Chiefs themed, because they're Kansas City Chiefs fans. Like, their place is called Tomahawk Chop and stuff. But like, they're giving some hoodies, and they're giving some hats, and they're going to give an axe that's signed by both of them. Like, and it's not going to be worth a whole bunch of money, but if they win a world championships, you'll have an axe signed by the people that won it. So that's kind of cool. And but But anyway, so all this stuff is going to be involved, and like you can literally buy an entry into every drawing for $2. So it's not like it's expensive or anything. You just got to go to my website, wagermethis.com, find out. I'm going to show you one of the prizes. And I'm going to take it out of the package. Well, not out of the package, but out of the wrap. This is really cool, and I've actually never seen another one of these. Obviously, they made them, but I've never seen one. So it's like a little craps game. And it's like sits on your tabletop. It's about 12 inches by 10 inches. And this thing talks to you and everything. And you can play multiple players on it. So it's kind of like a competition. And so you see the little screen with the little guy and stuff. And all it just takes batteries, guys. And it's really, really cool. As far as, that's just one of the prizes. That's just one of the cool things. As well as I got some like miniature felts that I've gathered over the years. Some different things from some different places, and just I got some loaded dice that I'm giving away. So obviously that's just kind of a joke stuff. I got a game called Dirty Dice from the 70s. Now, I didn't think about this when I put this in there. It's not like Dirty Dice like you would think.
Yeah, we got you.
Sexual.
Yeah,
but it's just a game called Dirty Dice, and it's not even out of the package. I'll get it really quick. And it's from the 70s.
All right. So while he walks away, I need to know if my people over out there in the Zoom meeting, are you getting the audio? Because I just want to make sure you can hear me. All right, good. I've got your audio muted for a second because the restaurant noise where Evelyn and Clay and Ted are is super loud. So I brought your audio down. When we get done with Jacob, we'll bring you back up. So go ahead, Jacob. Show us some more stuff.
So here's like this Dirty Dice thing. Now, obviously there's kids there, so surely this isn't. It's in the package, as you can tell. It's never been out of the package.
Not a sex game.
So, but it's never been
From
out
the
of the
70s,
package.
like,
So
you never
I
know.
honestly, like, I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. So, but yeah,
No, I don't think you're wrong at all.
but so it's like I said, this was made in the 70s. I don't even think they make this anymore. But as you can tell, look at the old style writing. Like that's really old graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really neat. Just some neat stuff. And like I said, I got a bunch of I got like a throw blanket. I'll show you that too, just because it's cool.
All right, no, sure. Take your time. I mean, this is why we brought you on the show. We want to know about the promotion.
So
we hope that you get on ES.
This is beautiful. So look how big this is.
That's cool.
Yeah, let me put that up on a big screen there.
It says Grand Casino.
Yeah.
It says Grand Casino on the corners. So like this was a thing they gave away as a promotion maybe, or maybe to some kind of comp level. But I've just got lots of this stuff I've just gathered over time. Either people giving it to me or just finding it in antique store or something. I just collect little things. Like I have, they're all packed up right now because I'm remodeling my house, but I have a whole bunch of old chips, like from the old casinos that were like speakeasy casinos. Because in Arkansas, there's actually a ton of them down in Hot Springs. Like there's all these old casinos where the gangsters used to come down and play in these casinos. And so I've bought a bunch of chips from them. And now, they're not valuable, but they're really hard to find. So I don't know. I just have a lot of cool stuff, and I'm giving away a bunch of it. So this is what you're getting entered for. You're going to win all this stuff. When you enter on my website, I get like a confirmation number and a ticket number and everything, and that's what I'm going to use as your number in the drawing. And then I'm going to send you a direct email because I also get your email. And that way, like I don't put your email out on YouTube,
So let me ask you a question if I can, Jacob. I bought the $30 package. Does that give me more chances to win some of that stuff?
It does. So the base is $2 and that's for one. And then you can spend $30 and you can get 30 entries. So it's quite a bit different, if you spend the 30. And the reason it's 30 is because I have other stuff on there for like my baseball. And it's at $100, so I wanted something that wouldn't land on $100. If someone bought 3, they wouldn't land on 100 or 4, you know. So that's why it's like that.
All right, nope, I'm good. That's good. So the promotion actually ends on what date? And go over the timeline again for when you're giving away, when your friends go and play, and when we were talking in the green room, you're actually taking your money for your sponsorship to them and shooting some type of video or something.
Yeah. So on May 18th, I'm going to be going live at night. At their axe throwing place. So you're going to get to see the whole thing. I've actually showed it before for the Super Bowl one time. They had a big Super Bowl.
Like
I was
that.
going to get flagged.
Oh my God.
But anyways, you threw me all the way off now. But anyways, I'm going to be going live at their place, and they're going to put on a show. Like, they're going to throw the axes and show you how good they are at it. And they're going to do some like tricky stuff, throw it from like 50 feet and stick them in the bullseyes and stuff. These guys are really, really good. I mean, obviously they're ranked really high in the world, but they are really good at this. And they're going to put on a little show, and they got throwing knives and everything. So it's going to be kind of neat just to watch them do it. And you're going to get an idea of what you actually put your money toward. Maybe these guys can do something in this competition, this dream they have of competing in this. And I mean, it's just going to be neat. And then plus all the winners. And also, if you are a member on my YouTube channel, you get an automatic entry, whether you bought or not, because you're a member. And that's what my membership says. So it says right on there, you get entered into all my contests. So you get that for free as well if you're a member. I'm not trying to, like, you know, drum up memberships or something. I just want to say that is true. You will get entered. But anyways, so that's kind of what's going to go on. It's May 18th. I'm going to say it's going to be about 7 o'clock at night, my time, which is Central, just because that'll probably be what it takes to get it ready. So, but anyways, that's kind of what's going to happen. And we'll see, you know, I'm going to bring them cash money. And for sure, I know it's already over $2,000.
Wow.
I had a big donation from a guy. You guys have seen him in your chats maybe, or in my chat. He's a really good friend of mine. We've become really good friends, and he put a big chunk up right out the gate. So thank you, Todd. You'll know who I'm talking about if you know who I'm talking about. So.
All right. Well, Jacob, we appreciate you coming on, and I told you I would give you time to promote this promotion that you have going on. We do have a couple people in the green room. Are you going to stick around and talk some craps with us?
Yeah, I'm going to hang out.
All right. Well, I'm going to put a slide up here, guys, because I'm going to move on, and you guys just hang on there, John, Dylan, and Jacob. We'll get back to you in just 1 second. I want to put a slide up here, and we're going to talk about pass the rack. Now, when I pass the rack, when the rack gets passed, this is what took place. For those of you who don't know anything about the pass the rack, Chris over at Sideshow Gamble created this 2 Friday nights ago. He and I came on for a dual stream. We streamed on his show live. We streamed on my show live. And when he got down to the end of it, he said, let's start this challenge. I got a challenge, Jeff, I want to do. It's a 50% YouTube challenge, and we're going to start with a $500 bankroll, which he started with. Chris from Sideshow Gamble passed it over to Chris at Dice Degen, and I don't know the amounts, who passed it over to Churro at Midmo Yo, who passed it to Mike at On Point Craps, who passed it to me, Jeff at Mid-Atlantic Craps, I passed it to John at ProCraps, who passed it to Ed to Roll to Win, and already I have that slide up there with the amount of money that is actually there. But let me raise your audio a bit there, Ed, and you tell me $14,400. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow.
That's correct.
That is incredible. And I noticed at the end of your video, you passed it to Sarge Vigai. So hopefully somebody will be in contact with him. Not sure whose dog that is, but if somebody could do something with the dog or mute your audio while we're talking right here.
I let him know last night after I shot the video that he was up next.
That's awesome.
Oh, great. So what did he have? Did he even know about the contest?
I'm not even sure. Heck, I didn't even know about it. I just happened to, it was funny. I happened to be having enough time to look at some YouTube stuff, and I stopped at John's channel the other night and saw that. And I said, well, let me see what this is. And I'll be dadgum if he didn't pass it on to me. And I was like, I don't even know the rules. You
Well,
know?
there isn't much rules other than you got to take the rack that you
That's
got
it.
to you, and win 50% and pass it to
Yeah.
and pass it
Yeah,
on to somebody else.
Because he passed me $7,400, I think it was 70. He passed me 7,400, and I was just trying to. I honestly was just trying to get 50%, and I wanted to do it really quick, and it wasn't quick, but it ended up being 14-4.
Wow. So we took it in a week. We took $500 to $14,400, and I think we each had our own unique approach. And John, I'd like you to tell Ed how he got it. But I was talking to Jacob and Dylan, and I told him that you had numbers. So you had 36 sets of dice and 36 different YouTubers, and you just rolled the dice.
Yeah.
And you had 9 set for Ed because it seems to be one of his dominant numbers. I believe.
That's
Go ahead
number.
and tell us how you
That's
did
one
that.
of those. That's exactly what I did. I basically gave everybody their dominant number. I think Jacob, I gave you the 7. I gave Waylon, of course, had the ace deuce, and Ed had the 9, and other people had numbers that I knew they always talk about on the show. And when I rolled them, like left die, right die, it was a 6-3-9, and that was Ed. It was perfect. I actually had Brian, who I crap shoes was a hard 4 because that's the number I sniped him with. So everything had a story to it that I could pretty much figure out, and it was cool that it landed up on Ed, and Ed took it and ran, man. That's awesome. 14K. That's awesome.
So here's a question for everybody, and I haven't seen Chris on Sideshow Gamble. He's in the chat. So Chris, if you want to jump on the Zoom chat, here's a question from Arnell over at Dice Grinders. He wants to know what happens if you lose it. So John, I think you've talked about this. I didn't catch all your shows this week, but maybe you know what's going on. And Chris from Sideshow, jump on in the Zoom. If you can.
I did
I know
ask
you're in the
Chris
desert.
that afterwards. So I had a problem
still
with
in the
mine.
desert.
So he is. I'm not sure he can join vocally, but I talked to Chris about this because when I rolled mine out, I got my 50% so fast because I really upped my bets. I went like $500 bets and just tried to get it quick. Because I was playing the Horseman. And I thought, well, the Horseman either grinds or it gets hammered. And I won it too quick. And I'm like, Chris, should I refilm this and do it like a different way? He's like, no. I said, yeah, I want to respect the challenge, right? And then it came up, what happens if somebody loses? Like, what's the actual thing if somebody loses? And he said, well, you can stop whenever you want to, just pass them what you had left. So if you do get your ass kicked and you lose 50%, cool, send the next guy what you've got left, and it's their job to win 50% from that point forward. And it's like a moving 401g account, so it's all good.
Look who we have.
Hopefully nobody loses. Yeah.
We have Chris, and Durso says there is a stop loss. Now that Chris is here, I'm not sure they heard everything that you just said. He was a creator of it. And I'm actually hoping, and when it gets to you, Jacob, I'm hoping you got about 50,000 to work with. I'm being sarcastic. But maybe you will. Chris, are you here? I think your audio is not connected yet. But that pass the rack thing, I'm going to put the slide up one more time while Chris connects. And it is really unique to think that, we started with a $500 bankroll, and Ed over at Roll to Win passed it on to Sarge with a $14,400 bankroll. And for you guys that haven't watched it, in each one of our videos that we've done, we've linked every single one of them. Even Ed has it in his link there. So if you just want to go to Ed's channel, he put it out about 7 o'clock today, Ed? Is that when you put it out?
Yeah, I was able to get it editable or whatever you want to call it up to YouTube at about 7 o'clock tonight. So it's brand new up.
Well, editable sounds like you were you were eating something, but yeah, I understand what you meant. You meant you edited it.
Yeah, I try you get the my sorry trailer and all that crap that goes on there because I'm not as good as you guys.
No, I
hate
the trailer.
Yeah, so anyway, but you've got to upload it and sit down. I had to watch it once to make sure it was not foul or whatever. My audio was bad, but I had all my stuff taken apart. I hadn't shot a video in quite a while, so when I put it together, not everything worked well.
Right. Well, Chris walked away, but I did you use that same dice set the entire time?
No, I needed the aces and the ace deuce for the small, and I had quarters on the all tall small, so I went to a sniper set for my aces and my ace deuce, and then I changed sets after that again to try to pick up the upper side, but I left the 11 and the 12 hanging. I think it was on the all. So but after I hit the I had a 5. I think I had 1,000 on odds with a $500 pass line. After I hit that near the end, it was all gravy money at that point.
Well, it's an interesting
And I had a hard 10 with $100 on it.
Nice.
All right.
And a $500 hard 10. I mean, a $500 10 with a $100 hard 10. I hit that, so that really gave it some juice too.
Wow.
Hey, Ed,
Well,
Ed, this is was it nerve wracking at all? Even though it was like Monopoly money, was it nerve wracking bet that high for you?
No, because I number one, I don't own any banana chips or purple chips, so I had to abbreviate the 1s to 1,000 and the 5s to 500. I just don't own any of those chips. But I mean, that's a big number, but it's play money, right? It's just entertainment, so you don't think about it. You just didn't want to blow it up. I just didn't want to blow it up, Didn't want to lose it.
I was sweating when I did mine. I was literally so nervous when I did it.
Well, and I was hoping just to get really lucky and hit some horns real quick, because I was shooting for the world bet on the come outs and never hit a one of them. So I was hoping I'd hit some 12s and 2s and say, here, pass it on. I'm done, but that didn't work.
Well, I do agree though with Dylan. Is there should be some pressure in with John, especially if you're already kind of established as a craps channel. Because if you're the guy to lose, it hurts your credibility.
Yeah, I was nervous because it wasn't my money. I kind of felt like I was like somebody gave me money to go gamble with. That's the feeling that I had. Like, like my dad. Here's $1,000. Go to the casino and win me some money. Like, shit. That's how I felt when I was rolling it out. Like, it wasn't mine. And I didn't want to blow it for Chris. So.
Right. I can see it.
Well, you can see that Dice DJ, Chris over at Dice DJ, just said, "Can you imagine being the first one to lose this?" A comment section goes to the going to be wild. I'm going to put Vince's comment back up here too, because I understand what Vince is trying to say. He said he'd like to see some, for you guys that might not be watching it on a phone, would like to see some really cool live stream versions of these tournaments. I'm sorry to sound harsh, but I just don't want to give myself to others false hopes. So here's what, before you talk, John, because I think you're going to tell me the answer to that, is that I went in and I shot mine, and on my roll tracker KPI, it has a date and a time. As soon as I got done shooting that, I sent a text to John, I sent a text to Mike, and I sent a text to Chris, and I said, I just finished this in one shooter all the way through 37 rolls, and I was able to get my roll up, the bank roll up, to pass it on to John. So now, John, you might have an answer for Vince. Go ahead and answer him.
I do. Well, the answer is this. We're going to do it live. So this is a good trial run. I think it's fun. I did mine. I recorded mine too. I did it in one shot, and I didn't do what you did, which is put a clock up. I should have put a clock up there now in hindsight. But I thought I was going to play a really complicated strategy that needed a lot of math. And so I wanted to come back and edit the video and put the math beneath all the bets so you knew what the payments were. I turned out to play something simple. But what's going to happen is when we do the next Crapsathon, which is coming up really soon, my goal with the Crapsathon is to do this live with every guest. So each 24 hours, whoever's on with me, let's pass the rack to that person. We'll do it live as part of the thing and roll it 24 hours and see what happens. So that will be totally live the next time we do it, for sure. This time, not everybody can go live. It's hard to do that. The technology isn't friendly at all to go live, and you got to trust us. We're not in this to screw anybody. We're having fun too. So
no, and one of the
there's an element of hope. We've built that trust with everybody. I would hope.
Yeah. One of the topics that we were going to talk about in this week was integrity. Not only integrity of the craps players that are around the table, but us YouTube content providers. And we have no reason to falsify anything or make anything up. I'm sure there's some people that do a couple takes, but John, you know me. You've seen what I do. I just I start the record button and I take it, and I don't edit any of my videos. I don't put a beginning. I don't have the end. I have this little stream deck here with all the special effects, and I just go back and forth, and it is what it is. And so we'll get to the integrity question there, but the whole issue of letting us see rolled out live. I actually have to tell you that I'd like to see that. I wouldn't want to be the one that rolls it and loses it, but it's going to happen. I mean, somebody's going to hit their stop loss. You're going to lose. You're going to lose it. And this last message from Vincent's up here. Just seeing 500 to 14,000 and just 6 shooters. It was actually 7. Just to correct myself. And Ed had the biggest win, if I'm not mistaken. John, you're keeping track of the wins. Ed had the biggest win, and Crazy wants me to bring my paycheck to the casino. Well, hopefully you won't do that. Hopefully you're not paying your rent. We go with your craps money, but it's a fun challenge. It's a YouTube. Yeah, it's a YouTube challenge. So it is.
I took a huge people need to really realize that what they see on YouTube is not always real life either. I mean, we're all shooting on our home courts, and we're playing our own strategies, whatever it is we're doing. For me, I'm shooting the dice, and I'm shooting on my home court, so I know my home court. And probably all of us get emails and requests, come play, where are you going to be, and all that kind of stuff. I don't tell you, I was in Vegas last year, and some guy came in and put 640 across, and I PSO'd. And so I don't like losing. I don't, they've got to qualify every shooter, because we're all going to have crap rolls. We are. I mean, they're going to suck. And so I don't like people coming in and losing money.
All right. Who was that said something? I'm sorry.
I want to add something to this. I don't know about all you guys, but I've probably made more videos than all of you guys. I don't know that for sure, but I think I have. I've made a lot of videos, and I've deleted hundreds off my channel. So, but here's the thing: is guys, I have literally not uploaded videos because they were too good. I have literally just not did it because I won too much, and it wasn't realistic. Where I had a 40 roller followed by a 25 roller, and it's just not the reality of craps. Now, does it happen? Of course it happens. But if you go to the casino every single day, you're going to see a great roll every day. If you're at the craps table every day, you're going to see a great roll every day. The problem is are you going to be there with the money to take advantage if you're that guy, if you're trying to play for the great roll? What you're going to see mostly, though, is a whole bunch of mediocre rolls, and that's what happens.
Right.
And so when I have videos that go super crazy, one direction to the upper, not the lower side. I don't care if it goes down, but if it goes to the upper side super crazy, I don't put it up. I just don't, because I don't exactly what some people were talking about false hope. I don't want to give that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've probably deleted 100 videos that were like that. And you're right, Ed. When you're shooting at home, everything's more comfortable. And so what I do, like I have my kids on the table and I have messing with me, and I try to make distractions for myself because I want it to be realistic. So when I do go to the casino, I'm at least somewhat trained in it. But another thing I want to talk about this too is this is one of the arguments for and against dice control. At home, a lot of people can do it. But when you go to the casino, nothing is the same.
Nope, I got that.
Crazy.
Yep. Well, let's congratulate Ed on the roll to win portion of it, and Badger wants to know if we can do this, because we're going to keep the show as short as we can tonight, more than so much. So he said, let the whole incident go and let's move on. So what I'd like to see is I would really like to know, and I'm a subscriber to Sarge, and I have the bell notification, so hopefully I'll see the video when it comes out. But I scrolled back in my chats and I missed it, but somebody said, I may have put it up there, the bigger it gets, the harder it's going to be. And Chris, while you're here, you came on and joined us. Is there a goal that you had in mind that you wanted to reach in this 50% YouTube challenge?
So first off, thanks for having me on again, guys. Jacob, awesome to see you, brother. I love watching your show. It's been one of my core shows to watch. I just want to give that shout out to Jacob there from Wagermethis. So I'm still in the desert. I'm leaving tomorrow to head home. But no, the whole roll to pass the rack challenge, as John named it, which is a great name for it, by the way, because I couldn't think of a name. It was more or less, all of us do different things on our channels. Like John's known for the horseman, Skill is known for just being the skill and the luck guy. Ed's a damn good shooter, and he's always on it. Jacob's known for just, he really does really good talk throughs. Jeff is the voice. He's always hosting. He's always helpful, friendly, helps everybody out, really explains the game. And what I wanted to do is, I know on my channel I do just a lot of, everyone talks all these different strategies, and I just like to roll them out to show people. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But I really wanted to bring all the creators together, and this just felt like a really good, let's bring everybody together and let's get to know each other and show all the people that watch the shows that we all do talk on a regular basis. I mean, we're all talking to each other. As Ed said, how many of us get emails? I get 3 or 4 a day going, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you roll this out? And I've got no problem as my schedule permits, but what this has allowed us to do is really put us to a challenge. And I think it was in John's premiere that he did, I made a comment of, it's really funny to me that as I sit back and watch this progress forward, John was struggling. He was like, do I do this? Do I do this? I was thinking about doing that. It really did affect, because it affected me, because I was like, I'm starting this challenge.
Yeah.
This is really going to look bad if I can't even hit the 50%. But then, I talked to Chris over at Dice Degen, and everyone's kind of settled into their niche of the strategy that they're very comfortable with. And it shows everybody, okay, you can do this. Now, I didn't really think about how far it would go if somebody lost the bankroll. So I think I dropped a note to John and in the heads up chat, or one of the chats on Discord, that I think you hold the bankroll until you can either meet it. But if you can't meet it, then you have to publicly tell everybody, I failed this challenge and I'm requesting somebody take it from me. And they have to ask somebody. I don't think it's a knock on their channel. I think it's just, we have to admit sometimes. I mean, everyone's seen me roll, and the 7's going to come probably 99% of the time. But, and Ed hits a very good point. We are on our home tables. We're very comfortable there. And Jacob hit it nail on the head. When you go to the casino, it's different. It's a different atmosphere, and it's completely, it bounces different. It hits different. You got a little bit more nerve because it's real money. So,
Right.
yeah, I would say that if somebody loses the bankroll, you can hold the bankroll as long as you want, is all honesty. And if you hit the 50%, you get to challenge somebody. If you don't hit the 50%, then you didn't pass the challenge, and you got to pass it off. You got to ask somebody to take it from you. But I think we keep it going, and I think it just cycles around everybody. I think it's just gonna be fun. But you're right, it's gonna be like, I haven't seen Ed's video yet because I saw it just as I was getting off work tonight, so I haven't watched it yet. So don't anybody give me any spoilers. But I'm gonna go watch it. I can only imagine it's getting. Well, he said he didn't hit the world bet, so
no, he did.
I gotta see how he made it.
Let's do this, guys, because we were going to try to keep the show short, but I got 3 and 4 really nice, good people on the show tonight. And you can see with Duracell, he's the like guy. Click the likes, thumbs up button. He says limit to where he plays is a $15,000 to $5,000 10-time odds. And maybe, I don't know, let's see what Sarge does with it. You, Chris, you're the creator. John, you're the message deliverer. Let's come up with some rules as to when we're going to stop. Maybe we'll start it all over again and give it to people that haven't done it. And, see if they do, if they have the same thing. Of course, you're going to be doing yours live on the 24/7. So with that said, I think that's a good thing. So real quick, I'm going to put this into the comments, guys. We have Jacob from Wagermethis. We've got Dylan, who's got 30 plus years of craps experience. We've got Ed Roll to Win, and I don't know how many years of craps experience he has. I haven't let my friend Kevin say a word yet, but I know he wants to show us a sunset at some point. He's over in Hawaii, by the way, Jacob. That's where Kevin is. He's not part of the Hawaii crap shooters, but he travels with those guys all the time. And maybe he is, I don't know. But if you have a question or comment for any of these guys, put it in the chat with a capital Q. My ability to queue these things is not working tonight, so I've got to scroll back and forth. So if you have a question for Jacob, John, Ed, Dylan, Chris, or even Kevin, let's get some questions out of it. Let's talk some craps. We still got about 15 minutes or so to go. I'd actually thought about doing a post-show continuation, but that's something in the format for later. So with that said, let's go ahead and Kevin, let me let you have a few words because I want to get back to Ed at one point.
Yeah, so in the end of April, we had Money Shot Brian's birthday, and we celebrated his birthday at in Vegas at the California Hotel. So we shot a lot of videos with Chef Dice, Mar, and the crew. We shot at California Hotel, Main Street, Fremont, Orleans, Green Valley Ranch, and we shot at Casino Quest. And John, this is for you. You know, when you guys have the thing with Jeremy at Casino Quest, it's really good that you guys rented out the whole place, because if you rent out just a small section, then, you know, like David is shooting a video, the dealers are doing classes, so it's distracting. But just to rent out the whole place, you have the whole Casino Quest to yourself. That's a great idea. No distractions.
Yeah, I think Jeremy has the whole place because he's got 80-something people with a +1 coming. So it's going to be packed in there.
Oh,
so, yeah.
But that's good. It's only exclusive for you guys. So, you know, you guys going to have a party to yourself, yeah? No other distractions.
Yeah. Nope. I did see today in Jeremy's Discord that they've booked and they're full up on the group dinner. Is that correct, John?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That? Yep. All right. So let's move on to a question here that we have. Sorry for the dice scrolling there. Let me go ahead and put this question up here. I think this is the question I had queued up. This comes from Journey Life, who posted a comment a little while ago when we were talking about the Pass the Rack thing, and I'm sorry, Journey Life, I didn't put that up there. Welcome to the show. I think it's the first time here. The question goes as, how do you deal with the bad runs of the dice? I'm not talking about one session, but several in a row. I'm gonna go to Jacob on this one, then to Ed, and then to Dial-It. So Jacob, let's hear it.
Okay, so John will know this answer because I say it to John. I say it to people. Bankroll is for what, John?
Bankroll gets you through it.
Bankroll is for losses. Strategy is for wins.
That's
if
right.
Your strategy
Survive
is
your
dice
losses.
control. It's still your strategy. Bankroll is for your losses. If you don't have a big enough bankroll to play, don't play. And that's the truth of it. And guys, a big enough bankroll means that whatever your session bankroll versus your overall bankroll is, I know that there are some craps people like Tony Leo that says bring all your money to the table, because you never know when the big one's going to hit. Tony Leo tells you that. Bring it all. Personally, I don't do that. Now, but in my opinion, it's your bankroll is to limit those bad runs, right? If you can stretch out through 3-4 sessions and you take a hit, but then it turns around, you're going to get it back. Bankroll is for losses. Strategy is for wins. That's my opinion.
Unless your name is Waylon, then your bankroll is for all of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, the way that Waylon plays, like that ladder play, or like the Vince that we do, the perpetual pressing thing, that's a bankroll, pure bankroll play. There's no strategy involved. You're just outlasting the 7, and you play until you get your win. But you need big bankroll and high limits to make that work. And that's the only other answer to the question, I think. You're right, Jacob.
All right, so real quick to Dan over at Dice Doctor, you can see we just did talk about DiceCon, and I think you meant to put Casino Quest, but yes, there are people going. I think we already answered that in the question. I don't want to backtrack to that, Dan, but you and I have been communicating a lot. I can talk to you about that. Ed, what do you do with the question?
Well, you know, you've got, I mean, Jacob's correct. I mean, he's spot on with that, with what your bankroll's for. Jacob, I 2 weeks ago this weekend, I was up in Tunica. I was at your favorite place there, and I had to go dark side just to get the heck out of there and break even at the Gold Strike. But you wouldn't believe it, Jacob, at Horseshoe, every table was open, and half of them were always empty. It was crazy on a Friday night. Nobody was in there.
Horseshoe. It's because horseshoes are jerks.
Yeah, but it was like being at home, man. It was so good, I couldn't believe it. I took a very, very small bankroll. Just because we were getting away, the wife and I were getting away, I took a very, very small bankroll and went in and played so conservatively, I should have made gazillions off that Friday night because nobody was in there. But, you know, come Saturday afternoon, I couldn't roll anything. Saturday night, I took a break, came back Saturday night, and it was just so choppy. I just walk. I've hit a win limit. I've exceeded a win limit, and then I'm starting to erode that win down to where I don't want to lose anymore. And I was out. I stopped at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, went to bed, got up, and drove home. So I don't mind walking. My stop loss or my deal is I just walk away from the table, and most of us need to learn to do that, I think.
So a quick question I got for you guys here. Quick question. If you changed $100 bills or dollar bills into chips and you put them in your rack, are you willing to lose all of that?
I typically am not. I've usually got a number that I want to stop at. There's been a few times in my past I've gone all in on my last roll, though. I admit that. Sometimes it works, sometimes
I break
it
my
doesn't.
bankroll up where what I have in chips, I'm willing to lose it all. And then re-up and lose the second one and re-up and lose the third one, because I bring 3 separate bankrolls generally. And the first one is, when I first bankroll I play aggressively with it. I try to get in and get out with it. And the second one, generally what I do is I play a little more conservatively, and my main goal will be to win that first one back if I get to the second one. And the third one is for anomalies. If I see a run of 7 bad rolls, something that's weird. So I have that other bankroll there just to limit that weird stuff.
Okay, let's go to Dylan. Dylan, how do you think about that question? Don't ask me to repeat it because I'd have to scroll back and see it.
Yeah, no, just for losses, there's really 2 ways just to think about it. You can just, the bankroll is key, of course, with that session, but also you have to think about just regressing the ratio. So if you've lost, whatever the amount is, and you've got to bring your bets down. So if you're used to going, 220 inside, and you lost that, then you've got to rethink that game plan and still stick with that same strategy, and go down to maybe 88 inside, to kickstart it or whatever. Whatever's comfortable for you psychologically, that you can handle. But you do have to know how to regress and how to reboot, and analyze and reattack it, so you can have start a new foundation in place. But like Jacob said, bankroll is key. So I completely concur with all the previous guests, especially with Ed too. So yeah.
All right. I have one more question, guys. Let's see if we can get this in before we get to 10 o'clock. Because Jacob, just so you know, these shows that we've done, they've gone 2.5, 3 hours and 15 minutes before, and it just becomes too long. I just looked at the statistics. We have almost 40 on Casino Gaming TV network, and we got about 13 on the Mid-Atlantic dual stream. And I'm putting chats up from both stations, but the main stream for this is over on John's Casino Gaming TV YouTube channel. So here comes another question. Let's make sure I have this queued up right. The question comes from Walter Weeks. Question: $5,000 bankroll, 10%, $500 a session leaves you only $50 per shooter with a $25 minimum. Should I raise the session to $1,000 or $100 a shooter, and it dropped off because it only takes so many characters? Anybody?
Well, did you double your money?
Okay,
if
Walter,
you didn't double your money, then no.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Is Walter trying to ask us how to chop the bankroll up to a per shooter or a per bet level? Is that what he's asking about?
I didn't know how to interpret it. It was a question. I read the first part of it, and when it got to the or, I thought I was going to see the words after or. It only takes so many characters, as you know, John, in the chat.
So if it's $5,000, if he's got a $5,000 501g account and he's bringing $500 to the casino, then yeah, that's you're saying $50 per shooter. You got to kind of whittle that thing down. If you're bringing $5K to the casino, It's a whole different question. So if Walter can clarify that would probably help everybody answer it.
Yeah. I think we see what Waylon said. Ed, do you have any comments on that?
I'm not really. I'm not real sure on what the total question is. So I'm not going to comment.
Yeah, he just said yes to you, John. I'm not sure how you worded what you just worded.
I forget.
That's okay.
Well, I think I understand.
I'm old.
My opinion is if you starting with $5,000 and your goal is 500, which is 10%, then you shouldn't up your goal until you double that bankroll, because there's a variance there, right? So one standard deviation of 36 rolls is 72 rolls. You know, that's so if your bankroll can fluctuate $5,000, then that's one standard deviation. That's kind of crazy to think about.
I actually had a thing planned for the next couple of weeks to talk about this, because there's a school of thought that says, if I've got 5,000 in the bank, you're right, Jacob, just play till you get to 10, and then you start going with double, and you start increasing your bets. The other side of that says, take 5,000, make it 5,500. Your next goal is 550, and you incrementally increase your win goal with the size of your bankroll, and you're making bigger bets every time you go. That's an interesting way of looking at it too, if you're looking at a long-term strategy. So it's that compound interest kind of a thing. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The problem with the compounded interest strategy is the one bad run wrecks you.
You got to start back in the middle. Yeah.
I think what Walter's saying there is 500 a session for 10 sessions. That makes 5 times 10.
That's a lot different.
Yeah,
it is a lot different.
No, it's the same.
500 a session that's a very limited bankroll. So you've got to be on a minimum table, and you've got to be making. I really think you've got to go back to looking at specific numbers and not trying to go inside or across. You've got to be looking at maybe just 6 and 8s for a while and see if you can get the kind of momentum going in that area. Because a $500 bankroll at most places is extremely small, even with a $15 minimum table. And I don't ever see $10 tables anymore.
So what's harder? Let me ask you a question. What's harder, to take $500 and go 64 across, take 1 or 2 hits and run for each shooter, or take the same $500 and go 36, 38 and pray that one of them hits? Because you have 2 targets versus 6, 1 hit versus 2 hits. There's 2 ways to spend the same $60. And in your
I'd rather go, if I'm only spending $60, I'd put it all on the 6 and 8, $30, and maybe go to 42 and 2 hits. I got $75 in the rack. But the problem, we've all got to remember that PSO is going to take that 60 away, or they're going to roll. And I've seen it. They roll 9s and 10s all night, and you're sitting there on a 6 and 8, and then the 7 shows.
Yeah.
So, just because you're on them, they don't hit all the time.
Right.
So.
That's why I wonder the question. Like if I've got $65, do I go across or do I go just on the middle too? And I'm like, depends on how scared the money is. Like if you've gotten whacked a couple of times, maybe you go across, take 2 hits and run. Versus like you're saying, watching them hit 5s and 9s around you and they get nothing out of it. That's super frustrating too.
When I was playing in Tunica a couple of weeks ago, I started out with at Horseshoe, which was a $25 minimum table, at a $25 pass line, $30 6 and 8, and I had like an $800 buy-in. And my first, I placed the 6 and 8 in a come bet. Come bet I used as a small hedge. I mean, that's literally what it was a small hedge. If it went to a 6 and 8, I'd take the winnings, pop it on as the odds on the come bet, pull my original bet down. I mean, I was just grinding out small wins, and it was working really good. It was crazy good. But you've got to be careful. You got on those small bankrolls. You've got to be careful. I don't like 66 across, for example, on a $500 bankroll, because that's a big chunk of it, and that PSO knocks you out, and you're in the hole big time.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, you have a rule in a lot of your videos. You talk about how much money you should bring to the table. Why don't you kind of like refresh our memories on what your theory is about how much money you bring? Not that you have 3 bankrolls, but what do you usually say in your videos?
Well, I talked about this in a video when I went to Colorado and I tried to do this to pay my bills. And I didn't try it like I had to have it kind of thing, but I did try to do it just to see, hey, is this going to work, or do I have to go get a job? And what I found was if I didn't have 100 times the minimum bet on the table, I was in a weird spot where I couldn't sustain a profit margin, if you understand what I mean. So, like, if my goal was to win for sure every day $300, and I had to win it every day, or I had to average that over a month, the swings up and down were so long and so big that so many days I missed the goal. I was still profitable, but I missed the goal. And so, in my opinion, what I found out was that my bankroll was too small. Was the problem was because I wasn't able to play big enough money. And because if you're going to try, in that sense, I was trying to do it, see if I could do it as a living. You have to be able to bet a lot, so you don't have to win very many times. And that's kind of one of the things I try to tell people when they say those words to me, like they're going to do it for a living. I was like, well, you better have a lot of money. So, but anyways, I think you should, if you're really got a goal of, you're going to say, I'm going to make $500 a day or $50 a day or whatever that minimum table bet is, I think you got to have 100 times it walking up to the table in your rack. So if it's 25, you have to have $2,500 sitting there if you want to consistently make that number. Now, can you play with less than that? Of course. You can play with way less than that. But if you want to be consistent and make that same profit all the time, you're going to have a pile of money to outweigh the variance.
Yeah, because you're talking about to manage the hiccups. You have that big enough bankroll to sustain any losses. So, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, I completely agree with that.
I love how when you talk, Dylan talks about strategy, the first words out of his mouth are regression.
Yeah.
If anyone knows Dylan's style, it's hit, regress, go for it. Like that's
exactly.
Like,
that's what the skill.
You can define his style as hit, regress, go for it. But it's great because it's profit. So you're playing with the casino's money and trying to beat them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what the Skill 66 was designed to do. You know, and that. You know, when we were talking earlier, and my mind just goes Skill 66, because you only need the 2 hits, and then regress, and you're back, and you got all your money back plus a small profit. You know, and that's the key. And plus, you got money on the table working for you. But you know, John did this comparison of the different 66 styles, and so if he wants to elaborate on that. You know, and I wrote him a little email, or I sent him a message about it. But if you want to comment on that, John?
Your message was you fucked that up, didn't play it right.
Somebody had to say the F word tonight, and Ken's not here.
I'm taking Ken's spot now.
It wasn't me.
I didn't use the F word. I did not use the F word. Okay.
No, you didn't. John did.
Oh, no.
All right, so here's a question. Has anybody calculated what they would need their 401g to be to do craps full time for a living? Have you sat down and have you calculated what you'd want your 401g account to be?
Me personally, I would say to do it for a living, it would need to be what I want to earn for the year. So if I had 100K in the account, I'd be confident trying to win 100K that next year with that 100K. That's, I think, what you'd have to have.
It's not enough.
If you're going to try and do a living. But it's not enough.
I
still don't think it's enough. Yeah.
My calculation was 300 grand.
It is. It's like 300,000.
Not 100. Yeah.
Jesus.
Because you got to pay your own insurance. You got to pay whatever retirement. If you got to think about all these life things that jobs provide, that Craps doesn't.
My wife does
gasoline.
She has a great job. She has a job with insurance, so there's that.
It's a hard way to make an easy living.
300.
you would have to, I think, own your house outright, right?
Yes.
Have somebody, a spouse that's got insurance at their job, so you can just kind of, and
That
they
would
can
be good.
they can feed you, so you get to go ahead and make the extra money. There's no way, I don't think, to do this. That's what one thing that Ken said when I asked him the same question. He's like, the stress of like eating, and you can't get sick. You get a cut and your finger's infected, you're screwed. Like, that's the things you don't think about. But you need to have support. You can't do it by yourself. You got to have a support system. You got to own your house.
Very true, guys. We've gone over the hour time limit, and I love the panel tonight. I got two more questions I want to get to. This is going to be a follow-up, and to Dan, I'm going to get back to your question, but I think this is going to be a follow-up to what we're talking about right now. Is there a consensus on the panel as to a win goal percentage to a session buy-in? So you got the math there of win goal buy-in. I typically, because I have a casino in my backyard, I typically go for a 20 to 30% win. I buy in from $600 to $1,000. I walk out 25 minutes. I go to a 55-minute casino away. I might be $1,000 buy-in. My win goal might be $500 because I've upped it because I've gone farther away. So I've answered that question. Anybody else on the panel want to take this?
I will real quick. It's I do 2,000 usually as a buy-in, and then it's a 50% win goal, 50% loss limit, and sometimes I'll waive that loss limit and let it sail down a little bit more if I really want to. But that's typically my mindset is 50%, 50%.
All right. Anybody else? Ed, how about you?
You know me. I don't have goals. I want all the money the casino's got. I do not have a win goal. Okay. In other words, I'm not going to stop because I'm winning money. Right. So I stop if I'm losing money. I don't stop if I'm winning money. My session buy-ins are smaller than probably most guys would think. I usually buy in anywhere from, post-COVID, let's just call it $800. I want that 800 to be as much as I can get it to, and then, I do a little bit of rack management, which would make John happy. I kind of pull it out, separate it, and I know, okay, here's my buy-in. I'm not going to lose my buy-in now that I'm up, and let's see if I can double it. So I try to double my buy-in. That's what I try to do. That's my goal. And if I can get all my quarter chips, my buy-in lined up in the front rack, and I'm putting quarters in the back rack behind it, and they start equaling out, and I'm still winning, I'm not going to stop. Okay, I admit it. I'm going to be a degenerate, and I'm not going to stop. But I'm going to put me a chip in front of that. I've doubled my bankroll. Now I've got this to play with, and I'll see what I can do with that. And if I lose that, then I'm not digging in back here. I'm just going to call it a night or call it a session. Because I don't have a cutoff that makes me leave the table on the win side. It's just not in me.
Yeah. All right. Let me go to Kevin. Kevin's not a YouTuber. Let me look at Kevin. Kevin, go ahead and tell us the answer to that question.
Yeah. So, we live in Hawaii. Our nearest casino is like 3,000 miles away. So we can't do this 10%, 20%. So what John taught me, rackology. Just rack it out. Put your profits on the side and, play with a short stack. But it's hard to have a percentage or a win goal stop loss because we're traveling all the way from Hawaii to Vegas and we only have a short time there. So we just have to do what we can do, win as much as we can. And if we lose our session amount for the day, then just wait for the next day, So our methodology of betting is different from you guys, where you guys have a casino right down the road or 1 hour away. We have to travel 5-6 hours to Vegas. So we have a different mentality on betting, But we all want to win money and take the casino's money, and it's all good. But win or lose, we're still the same people. We're happy people. So yeah, that's my response.
All right, Chris, you haven't said much tonight. Go ahead and enlighten us.
Well, I'm the young guy, so I think for me, as you guys see with some of the videos I came out with, because I'm practicing, because I'll be at DiceCon with John and a couple others, as I shoot for 20% goal throughout the day, and I'll try and plan about 5 sessions in a day, and I shoot for 20%. Now, I agree with Jacob on I'm willing to lose all the money that I put on the table, because if not, I shouldn't be doing it anyways. But at 30% loss is when I start thinking to myself, okay, let's change what we're doing. Do we need to switch to the dark side? Do we stay light? Do we feel that the table's changing? When I'm usually down 30%, that's when I go, okay, that's when I have to change my thought. But if the ebbs and flows of up and down, you've got to be ready for it. So that's my answer.
All right. All right.
I do have something to say about this,
Sure, go ahead, Jacob.
if
Sure.
you want to hear it. Okay,
Absolutely.
so I think this is a two-part question. If you are a player that is playing for a specific goal all the time, then you should stick to it. If it's 20%, 25%, 80%, whatever, you should stick to it. If it hits it, you should leave. If you're not that guy, if you're there and you're playing, then I think you should play in this fashion. This is my personal opinion. This is the way I like to play. All right? I play and I get ahead. Once I get ahead, I play with the casino's money. And then I try to get ahead further. I tend to try to not play with my money. So my strategy amounts will fluctuate. Right? So if I'm ahead $100, I'm probably going to go 96 across. You know, so after one shooter, let's say when I start, I'm ahead $100. My next shooter is 96 across because I'm going to play it for free, hoping that gets to 120. And then hopefully the next one gets to 160. You know, I don't have to win a lot each time because I'm never using my money as long as I can get ahead. Now, if I can't get ahead, that's when I got to start pulling out all the tricks, right? You know, doing the moves and adjusting things. But when I get ahead, I like to play with their money. And so what that does for me is it limits any losing, right? I'm taking losing out of the question because the way I look at it is what I bring per day is what my investment is. Anything over that is good. Anything under that is bad. Like, for example, if I get up $500 and I lose it back down to $200, I didn't lose $300. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at it like that. So I look at it, I just play with the casino's money as many rolls as possible. I have specific percentage goals. I like to keep the rolls that I'm playing with their money way, way up by 90%. 90% of the rolls on the table, I want to be playing with the casino's money. If that means I have 2 bets on the table, I have 2 bets on the table. You know, I don't have to have everything all the time, as long as I'm not playing with my money. And honestly, if you'll do that, you'll have more profitable days. And also,
I
just
like
Okay, let me
when
ask
you
you that.
leave. You leave when you get tired.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Let me ask you this, Jacob. So, in that amount, like you said, 96 out of if you've won 100, that's a lot. I mean, you're almost using all of the winnings of that previous win. So, are you really? So you're super aggressive with the quote unquote free money of the casino money, or is there a do you have a percentage ratio? Like you're gonna if you won 100, you're only gonna use $75 of that or $50 of that. Is there a mindset on that, or are you? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yes. And I do have things, for example, let's say I win 100. Let's say I put a don't out there. It's some guy I don't know throwing the dice. So I throw a don't out there. Let's say a $50 don't. He gets a 10. So I'm like, I'm going to risk it. I'm 2-to-1 favorite. I put a little odds on it. Bam, I win $100. All right. I'm going to risk that 100 right away. Now, if it happens again in the same fashion, I'm probably only going to risk 66 the second time, because I don't want that to keep happening where I'm winning, but I'm only winning $4. But generally, once you're playing for free, your mindset changes, and especially if you do it consistently, and you get to where you make really, really good aggressive moves. And so when it doesn't even take great rolls. If you get, let's say, a 9-roll shot, and they're not all horn numbers, you've probably made some more money. They don't have to be these fantastic, crazy rolls when you're always playing with the casino's money. And that's kind of why I've developed that over time. And that's new to me, kind of. I would say I've been doing that for the last 4 months, where that's the main goal is to get on casino money and then just attack it.
I've been playing that way for
But
my
if I
whole
keep
life.
losing the casino money, I do start putting it back.
That's the old John Patrick way. Like the thing was to hit your win goal. Let's say it's 20%, and let's say you buy in for $1,000, you're at $200. What he said, and I do this, you take half of that, lock it up, and play with $100. Now you've locked up some, you're playing with half. You put that at risk. If you can turn that into 150, you lock up 75. You play your next shooter with $75, and keep locking up half, and you're building your stowaway, and you're playing with casino money. And you're kind of reducing your risk the whole time, but you're getting more aggressive with their money, like you're saying. I do that all the time. Like I build up my winnings early, and I play on that shit all night long. And I don't have any worries about having $1,500 back here and playing $30 out there. It's all good because it's theirs.
Well, that's what I'm used to is the John Patrick method. Yeah, that's what I'm used to is the John Patrick method, where it's half. And if you when you reach that win goal, then you break that in half. So that was instilled in me through him. So I mean, all credit to him. So that's why I was asking Jacob: does he do half, or does he do 75%, or is he really shooting for the fences and doing 90? When he said, if you win 100 and he's putting 96, that's shooting. That's like that's way out there. I mean, that's super aggressive. So that's why I was curious for a little follow-up on that,
Well, and if it gets burned, I think Jacob would go in again and earn another $100 and be aggressive again. Is that what you're saying, Jacob? Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying, is that I trust my strategy. See, 96 across is not my strategy. It's what I call a craps-specific play, right? And I've said this many times in things. There's craps-specific plays, right? $30 6 and 8, 110 inside, 160 across, 96, 64, 32. They're craft specific. There's a reason they say them, because it covers a whole bunch of probability with a certain dollar amount. So when I'm winning numbers, when I'm winning money, I'm like, okay, I need to get at least a 64 here because I'm at a $10 table. So I play 64 across for free. And then what I'm looking at is, okay, then I adapt strategy to that. Because I have them strategies too, right? I've played that way a lot in my life. Okay, do I only want to press the 6 and 8? Do I want to press and collect? Do I want to half press? Do I want to regress, hit and take it down? There's all kinds of other little additions once you're playing on the casino money to maintain playing on the casino money. And also, the Patrick style is great. It's fantastic, and it is arrived a lot of my stuff. I forget that you guys have read all these books too. I forget that.
Yeah.
See, because otherwise I would say names, and I forget that you guys have read all this stuff.
Well, I don't read books. I listen to the audio books. But go ahead,
Show
Don.
Ed real quick. Show Ed. Blow up Ed real quick. So
Okay. Yep. Hang on one second, Ed. Just leave it right there. I got Dylan's put me on the spot right away.
Oh, is that the green Patrick book? Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Let
That's
me go
it.
ahead
There you
and.
go.
I got that same book over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep that up there, Ed. There you go. Yep. Yep.
So you want to be a gambler?
There it is.
There you go.
It's right there on my. It's right there on my rack, right by my craps table behind me. It's right here on my, up here on my bookshelf.
All right.
I just got an original.
I love that you guys have all the
I just got a
knowledge.
1962. That's right. I just got a 1962 copy of Scarney on Dice. Actually, it's a hardcover, like fallen apart version of that book. All kind of highlights and dog ears on it. It's cool. I just came in the mail this week. I'm starting to kind of
explain who
collect some of the
Scarney
old
is,
books.
because I bet a lot of people don't know.
Well, John Scarney's
Yes,
he's an old gambler. He's from like the 40s. right? He was an old street dice player. He was a dealer. That guy knows his shit. He's a mathematician. I mean, he's the OG before Patrick. Let me get the book. I'll show it to you. Hang on.
He's got the books.
So Scarney's kind of like the founder of card counting.
Yeah. This is the book, Scarney on Dice. It's the hardback original.
That is awesome.
I don't even want to open it up because it's so it's falling apart. Like the pages are coming out. But I haven't read this book since I was in my 20s, and this is like the original. So I found it on Amazon. There it is, Scarney on Dice. You see, it's all jacked up, and what a great book. So this is like one of those Bible books you have to read. And I just ordered Grafstein's book. I found it in an original edition of that. It was $150. But I just kind of wanted it in my bookshelf, so I got Grafstein's book as well on the way. This thing actually has
I know a lot of people are a fan of Grafstein.
It's so freaking old, yeah.
I'm not.
Grafstein has too much Martingale stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
John needs that. John needs that because he's the master of strategies.
Oh no, I'm not. You know what? I don't even know. I'm good at math and I'm okay with strategies, but I don't know. I like to think through it. To me, if this game is it's unbeatable, but that's the fun of it. I know I'm going to lose over time. I just like talking about it and trying shit. I don't even care. You know, that's why I love this so much.
You guys are all dice players. I got a question for you. If you're at the table and you're sitting there and someone goes, "Man, I know they're coming right here," what do you do? It's some random person you don't know them.
Oh, I get motivated. I get motivated, and I'm just like, all right, okay, and I hope they're on the don't.
So, one day I'm at Oakland, right, and a guy rolls a 10, then he rolls an 11, and the guy next to me goes, "Well, it's got to be a 12 now, right?" Without hesitation, I threw a bet out there to the 12, and it rolled a 12. What I'm saying is, and I know this is kind of pseudo craps, but do you guys ever think that there's some kind of weird thing there? Sometimes I'm like,
no question.
There's a lot of weird things there. There's a lot of weird things out there. A lot. I was shooting one night at Gold Strike, and there's a lot of big gamblers that come in there that don't shoot but do a lot of betting. You're familiar with them probably. And I
have a few friends of them.
Yeah, and I run into them every time I go, but they most of the time anyway. So yeah, there was this one guy and his wife. You may even know him. His wife doesn't play; she just stands there. I mean, she's nice looking lady, and he's a big gambler. He's betting the ATS at quarters. I'm an infant yet in this game at that time at 555, and I'm having this roll, and it's just going, and it's just going, and it's just going. I needed a 12. And I threw the dice down there. The first die stops at a 12. The next one stops for a second, and the 6 is showing, and then it just kind of teeters over, to like a 5. And we all thought the 12 was there, and it just barely cracked over. And so just as he's sliding the dice back to me, the guy throws a $100 chip on the 12. Next toss was a 12 for the all, but he had a big payday right there on that 12. So yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff out there, and you'll see it. Things like back to back hard ways and that kind of thing. I mean, you see the same hard way over and over and over again. It's just, you got to be prepared to jump on them, though. That guy was.
Yeah, you got to pull the trigger.
That guy was prepared to jump on that 12.
Oh, all right. I had a yawn from Bones Jones, Jr. I think he got tired of the conversation. We're almost an hour and a half, guys, and I'm so impressed with this panel tonight. I know Dylan is too. We've got Jacob from Wagermethis, and we got Ed from Roll to Win, John from ProCraps, Kevin's back with us, Chris from Sideshow. We got a whole mess of people in the chat. At one point over on the Casino Gaming Network, we still got 48 people over there. We were up to 55 and 15 on Mid-Atlantic Craps, so we had a wonderful audience tonight. And I really hate to cut this short. We have one more question, guys. If you're indulged, just one more question. We'll see what happens. Let me put that question up here on the screen here. This one comes from Dan DVD. It's a question: when you're playing with free money and you're up 20% and you have to leave in 10 minutes, what would you do? Go for a long shot or walk? Me personally, I would walk out, but that's just me being the conservative person that I am. Anybody want to take a stab at that?
It hits the road walking.
I would keep the money.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
All right.
No, you don't leave. You don't leave. You never leave.
Well, if you gotta go, if you got a dinner date with your wife or whatever, you gotta.
She can wait. 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 She can wait.
I like your style, Ed.
You have 10 minutes.
Dude, I'm at the Beau. Here's a perfect example. I'm at the Beau Rivage 2 years ago, and I've got to be in Gulfport at 8 o'clock, and it's 7 a.m., and I get the dice, and I'm on some stupid, it's a stupid, unbelievable roll on a crapless table. I hit 11 points. I looked at the guy next to me, and I said, you text all those people I'm supposed to pick up and take them down to Gulfport that I'm going to be late because I ain't leaving. You don't ever leave when you're in the middle of a good roll. There's no way you leave right there. They don't come around that often.
Yeah.
My wife will never come. My wife would never come find me because she wants me to stop playing. I got to find her. She will spend.
If I got to hide my wife, I take my hat off and I chunk it. You know.
Here, let me put this one out here because John will understand what this one is. This comes from our friend Chris over at Dice Legion. Dinner date, never heard of that. And it's a shame that Mike from On Point isn't here. Jacob, you don't know this, but at the beginning of April, John from ProCraps, Dice from Dice Legion, Mike from On Point Craps, myself, Lou, who's a follower of everybody, including of yours. We had Ted Berry. I think you know who Ted Berry is over in the Craps Nation. He's Midnight Train to 66. And we had Clay from East Coast. And all of a sudden, we were 4.5 hours into it, and Mike's wife kept coming up there. All of a sudden, we quit. He disappeared. We decided to go cash in and go to dinner. Where's Mike? He's eating dinner with his wife. I just thought I'd throw that story out there. I just thought that was funny. Like that. Yeah. So let's see. There was. I want to put this one up here too. I really agree with this. This is probably, and Dylan, shake your head yes. From Crapsmaster Journey, Joe over Crapsmaster Journey says the panel was superb tonight. I wouldn't stand a chance with any of them. Yes, you would, Joe. You're a fine person, and we'd love to have you around the table. And one of these days, we're going to be meeting. And I actually have to agree. Out of all the 9 shows we've done, it looks like we get better with age. So I think the show is going good, guys. We're just about at the hour and a half mark, and I promised. I
got a wife story. I want to give a wife story.
Sure, go ahead.
Go for it.
I have a great wife story. Okay, so my wife, she's new to craps, not now, obviously, but when she first started, we're at Oaklawn, right? And she's like on stick 2, like right next to me, and she grabs the dice and throws them left, and we're shooting right. And she throws them against the wall. And they're like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I rolled. And they're like, no, you got to roll it to the other end of the table. And I'm just laughing, okay? And there's people that are subscribed to me that are at the table too. And they're like, your wife doesn't know how to play craps? And she's like, I'm not even subscribed to his YouTube channel.
Oh, my God. My wife's not subscribed. No, right? That's funny. That is fantastic. No, my wife is a gambler. Like you wouldn't. My wife and Ed would get along great. You're never going to get to meet. There was a time we were at MGM in Vegas, and we had played for like 4 hours, right? And we had flown in, jumped in, dropped our shit in the room, and start playing. And I'm tired. I played craps for like 4 hours, which is a lot for one person. I go to bed. I get up. She's still playing, and I left her at this bank of slots. She's in the high roller slots, dropping like $25 a spin, shit faced. She's on her like 30th drink, like on her lips, just like barely able to roll the thing, and she never came to bed. She played for like 20 something straight hours. That's my wife. So I'm never getting the tap that it's dinner time. But she'll never go near a craps table. She doesn't get the game, doesn't like it. Just wants to
18
play poker.
18 hours is my longest run.
She didn't even know it.
18
My
hours?
wife comes up all the time.
Man,
She comes right up and she grabs the black chips off my rack.
that's there you go.
And takes mine
But she
does that
doesn't
and takes them to
gamble.
the slots.
See, my wife doesn't gamble. She just puts them in her purse.
That's awesome.
Wow. All right, guys. I really hate to cut this one short. It's wonderful. Jacob, I'm going to ask you if you'll come back and join us at another time, sometime on the show. We'd love to have you back and maybe just have some questions just for you instead of dialing to me. It's the creator of the show is dialing. I'm just a moderator and I'm doing all the controls, and you have no idea what I'm doing behind the scenes here. But we'd like to have you back. Ed, it's always nice to have you on the channel. Kevin, it's nice to see you again, and Chris as well. John, I know I gave you an email today. Did you want to plug anything for what you got coming up this week before we get out of here?
Yeah, two things. One is going to be Joe from Crash Master Journeys on tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about rack management. He's going to teach me his 4-phase strategy, which will be cool. So we'll have him for a little while. And I'm going to run 6, 7, 8 all week. I think that's my plan for the week. I want to run 6, 7, 8 variations. I want to look at how big the don't should be, when you play the don't, that kind of thing. So I'm going to just be mucking around with it all week long. That's the idea.
All right.
I love it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll
All
come
right,
whenever you ask me. You just got to ask me.
Looks like Kevin was getting ready to walk out to go and get us a picture, Kevin, but I don't know. Maybe by the time we get out here, we'll let Kevin do the usual show. Jacob, you don't know this, but Kevin walks out and shows us the sunset from Hawaii. Every show we've had, he walks outside, but I don't think it's quite that late yet there over in Hawaii to see the sunset.
So I get stuff from the Hawaiian guys a lot. I love the Hawaiian guys.
They're great.
Yes, they are great. And Brian's been on the show before in the chat. He's not come on, but we want to get as many of the experience and popular YouTube content providers on here. But the other thing we want people like Kevin to come on and join the show. These people that are in the show, like here, I'll put this up here. There's Tito. Tito, come on in. You can come in the show. And one person I'd really like to have on the show is that guy right there, Waylon. So in the fall, I'm going to head down towards the south, and I'm going to hopefully come see Ed, and I'm going to hopefully come see Waylon, and I'm going to see my friend from Power Plus Clips, Ray. But I'm going to come down there, and I'm going to fix Waylon up with a two-shot video of his on his screen so that we can see his dice tossing and his landing, and I'm going to get him fixed up. But I really like to see him come on the show. And like I said, you don't have to have your voice shown. And we've already seen your face, Waylon. You got a good TV face. You can come on. But guys, it's
like
really it's really. Yeah, John, you and I have something in common there. But it's been a really good show. There's the sunset. Let me see if I can just real quick. Just because he does this every time. Stay right there, Kevin. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to see if I can't get this spotlight up there.
There we go.
See if we can't get that picture. A little overcast, but that's the sunset in Hawaii. On the East Coast, it's 10:35 my time. Yeah, get your top of your head so it kind of shines off that sunlight a little bit. Kevin, we appreciate that. Kevin's been on probably almost every show in one way or another. He has. So with that said, guys, dial in, my friend, my co-creator of the show. Do you have anything that you would like to end the show with?
Well, just thank you to all our special guests. I love you all, and you're all welcome back. Everybody knows that, and without you all, the show's nothing. I just came up with this, idea as a round robin discussion, so we could all, have fun and talk about a variety of different topics and whatnot. So it's working out. We're on episode 9 now. We're closing on episode 9. It's been a beautiful show. My heart goes out to you guys saying, thank you so much for participating and joining. And I look forward to more people coming in. Again, just reiterating what Jeff said, to come in and join the fun. Please come in and join the fun. You can do it by voice or by video chat if you wish. It's whatever you want. But we want you to join the conversation. It's all about joining the conversation, putting your 2 cents in. We want to hear your 2 cents. You're important. You are important. So I can't stress that enough. Please, like and subscribe to to all of our different channels. The Casino Gaming TV is growing leaps and bounds. Everyone here is super friendly. On each one of our YouTube channels. So I'm sure you will hunt and find something you'll love. There's plenty of love to go around, and we're all a bunch of lovely people. So I can't say any more than that. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. We will see you next time again here at Craps Chat. We don't have a date yet set for it yet for the next one. But,
yes,
we do. Okay, well, all right, Jeff. I'll kick it right back to Jeff.
Yeah, it's actually Memorial Day weekend on a Sunday, which we don't know if we're going to postpone that or not, but that's when the actual next Craps Chat would be the 29th. It's Memorial Day weekend. I haven't quite decided, but tentatively that's what's scheduled, so we don't know that we're going to do that. We ran into a couple holidays here. There's a guy that I'd like to see come on the show right there in that chat. I'd like to see Toothpick Ted, come on the show and join us one day. It'd be really nice to have him on the show as well.
Come on, Ted.
Ted's a great guy.
Yeah,
I spent time with Ted. I spent a lot of one-on-one time with
bring
Ted.
some of your models with you, Ted.
Great guy. Ted's awesome.
Yeah, bring some of your models. Hey, Jacob, you mentioned something about John and me being the tech geeks. There's your tech geek right there, Ted. He's a video production wizard. He is. And Ted, I'd like to see you come on the show. Arnell, as well as you, I would like to see you come on the show. So how I'm going to end the show here, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and do the outro. And for those of you that came on the show late, I'm going to go back, and there's a 3-slide show that I was doing on the countdown that talks about what's coming up in the weeks ahead. It mentions a couple of things this week, and then the last slide is for some future things. If you just watch the end of that, you'll be able to see that. So I don't know what else to say, guys. This has just been one heck of a show. Jacob, I hope you come back. Ed, I'm glad you're back. And John, thank you very much. I'll be speaking to you later in the week. Dial-in, my friend, from all of us here, and I'm not sure if everybody that's watching, and I wasn't too sure how many people we still had on here. I'm going back and looking real quick. We got 10 on my channel, and we have 37 on John's channel. Most of you don't know that Dial-in is recovering from a heart problem. He's had 2 procedures. He's doing well. He played on Big AZ's channel after the first procedure. He came on that very same night of the second procedure and played with me live, and I think that was the night that George from CY came on with us, and we had a great time. Guys, Dial-in, we're all praying for you. Please make a speedy recovery. We hope that you recover so you can get back to work, because we know Joy's probably, well, I better not say that. She's probably standing beside you, but we wish the best for you, and we all are praying for you. Guys, till next time, here's my outro. As always, please, I gotta put this one up here. Oh, Kevin, he already showed that, Mike. Sorry about that. I almost did it. Mike said we need to see the sunset. You came on too late, Mike. We were talking about you. Yep. Hey, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. This is Jeff from midatlanticcraps. As always, all the panelists, stay there. As always, remember, be safe, play smart.